Have you guys heard about this big one from Universal? They're filing a permit for a massive new expansion at Epic Universe. By the way, this is Blog Mickey using the words massive expansion here. Not mine, their words. A newly filed permit could be an early indication that Universal Orlando Resort is moving forward with plans for Epic Universe's first expansion. A permit filed with the county indicates that Universal is seeking approval for early site development of a massive plot of land. Here's a look at the permit along with what it could mean for Epic Universe. The things that I want to point out here: 150,000 square feet.
That's a lot.
That is huge. And we're trying to figure out where exactly this is. 1001 Epic Boulevard. Is that the address for the entire facility here, or is that the address for a specific place within Epic Universe?
You guys are getting too excited about this. This is obviously just an Amazon distribution center they're building at Epic Universe. So
I mean, you could get your deliveries right there in the park. I think that would with drones. By the way, I hear that we're going to get an answer on why the Dragon drones haven't been around pretty soon. Maybe within a week we'll be finding out.
Oh.
So, yeah,
they need to build a runway for them. That's what this 150,000 square feet.
You don't need runway on quadcopters. Are they? Anyways,
dragons.
150,000 square feet. Hey, Culture, you've built things and taken care of buildings in the past. Yeah. What kind of building is 150,000 square feet?
I just kind of described it. It's massive. It's huge. It's a super Walmart. This is an enormous building space. This is interior space and building space that would house probably Ministry of Magic. This is the kind of scale we're talking here. It's huge.
So for those of you who have been to Epic Universe, right here is the entrance to Ministry of Magic. Just for an idea, that big arch right there, and then you go in, and this is Place Cachet right here, and the rest is Wizarding Paris. Here's the entrance over here to Ministry of Magic, and this is the queue for Ministry of Magic, which is pretty large. There's an atrium there. I've heard Universal employees describe this as the largest indoor land that they've ever done at Universal, and maybe the largest indoor land that any park in Orlando has ever done. And then I think this big boxy one right here, with all the units on top, I'd say that's probably the ride itself. Yeah. This is the thing that we're thinking is 150,000 square feet, and so they would be presumably looking for a large area to put something like that.
Yeah,
there's a lot of structure here that they could lead right into something. To me, this looks like they could be expanding Ministry of Magic. There's more than one at here, but what do we think this could possibly be?
Oh, Wicked.
You think it's Wicked?
I think it's Wicked. Yeah, they are leaning so hard into this Wicked movie, and apparently I forget the gentleman who's in charge of it's either the CEO or the guy who's in charge of the parks. One of them is like obsessive about the Wizard of Oz.
Yeah, Mark Woodbury.
Yeah, Mark Woodbury. I think that you're definitely going to see some form of Oz brought in, because you can do more than just Wicked with Oz, because the Wonderful Wizard of Oz is public domain. So, you can do other things from the books. I think that especially if this movie this month does as well as I think it's going to do, because I think it's going to do gangbusters.
Yeah, it's an interesting idea, and we've talked about this on Extra Magic Hours. For those of you who are not watching them, we're doing them on Fridays, and they're a bit more free form of a live stream. So we're hanging out with the chat a little bit more. But we talked about how popular Wicked is, especially with the theme park crowd. If the theme park crowd skews female, and another demographic that's not too far from that, but not female, that and Lord of the Rings, if they can get their hands on Lord of the Rings, and by the way, it's Brian Roberts from Comcast is out there meeting with David Zaslav, maybe as we speak, about whether or not Comcast wants to buy Warner Brothers, and that's going to be a very interesting purchase if that happens. Questions about spinoffs and all that notwithstanding, if they have Lord of the Rings and Wicked, you could have a store where one side says, yeah, honey, I'm going to go look at the Wicked merchandise. You just go occupy yourself. And the other side says, yeah, honey, you go over there and look at the Wizard of Oz merchandise. I'm going to be here on the Lord of the Rings side. You just go occupy yourself. And then you have people who are willing to, I just think it would be amazing if it was a divided store and one side has the more masculine leaning audience and one has the more female skewing audience.
Okay. Is there any way it's more than one thing?
Yes, of course. Of course, it could be an entire indoor land of some kind.
Yeah. Yeah. Because, I mean, if you think about it, because we were just talking about it, this space that they're talking about is twice the space of the Gringotts building.
Yes, which is also huge and has the of course the Escape from Gringotts ride. They don't need 150,000 square feet to do another location in Harry Potter. They can do that outside and they can do whatever they want with it. I do wonder. I think there are opportunities for rides within Harry Potter. The Wizarding World, however we want to rephrase that. But I'm wondering where else they could go that people would want to visit within Harry Potter before they start to get it really generic. Like, well, Wizarding Paris, I'm already like, okay, well, design it well, I hope.
So I think the Wicked ideas, you guys are both talking about something for real. I think the Lord of the Rings space would need to be about 3 times the building we're talking about. Because you have so much density in those books, and if you throw Hobbit on top of it, I mean, you're kind of going to need to give everybody what they want from their favorite book. But set that aside.
I would agree, except that Amazon, I think, owns the rights to the Hobbit right now. So
maybe,
and Amazon through MGM in there. I don't know how that would work. But by the way, my idea for a Hobbit attraction is a nice armchair with a pipe tobacco and a good fireplace. So not really the kind of thing that would bring in people to Epic Universe, but
but if there's a wizard sitting in a rocking chair smoking said pipe,
we could have that right here on Morning Magic right now.
That would be amazing. Except I don't have a nice Meerschaum pipe, so apologize.
What do you get for the guy who has everything?
That's a very good question.
I don't want any more stuff. I'm way tired of stuff.
That sounds like a man who's had to move something recently.
Yes. It does.
By the way, Zen Wookie in the chat saying it's going to be a Buc-ee's Cracker Barrel combo store. I'd go for that.
Yeah, that would be the merging of two. If they could combine the front end of a Buc-ee's and the front end of a Buc-ee's, the back end of a Cracker Barrel, and also a gas station, we're starting to get into an area where, like, why would people ever leave? Maybe you throw a Home 2 Suites on the background. And
I have always said that the one drawback of Buc-ee's is that it does not have a place to sit and eat.
Yeah,
I always thought Marriott was a forward-looking company, and I believe they could actually build some kind of resort property that combined all those things.
Food is not consumed within my car.
Yeah. I know what kind of car you got, and I can appreciate that. But I'm looking forward to finding out what is this expansion. I also wonder if they'll have this done before Disney has their Cars Mountain, or what's the other one? Villains Mountain.
Based on the pace of Disney construction from near times. Let's use Tron as an example. Yes.
Thanks for watching That Park Plays News. For more information, consider checking out www.thatparkplace.com. And don't forget to subscribe, share, like, and send this out on your favorite social media accounts.